as part of our track record, and credentials from organizations like Intel, MIT, and Carnegie Mellon. And together, we're going to make sure that this never happens again. I'm Rebecca Clyde. I happen to be Mia's mother and also the CEO of Botco AI. So what are we doing exactly? We have created domain-specific models that are trained specifically around the verticals that we serve. We've combined these with large language models to deliver a personalized, engaging, and because this is healthcare, highly accurate conversational experience. So how does this product work exactly? We deliver this chat experience omni-channel. We can do this on the web. We can do this on SMS, inside a patient portal, and answer questions that people typically have. Now, when we talk to our customers, they tell us that one of the things that drives high hold times is verification of people's benefits. Folks trying to decide and determine if their health insurance is actually going to cover the treatment or service that they need. We have built automations into our product to handle that entire interaction seamlessly and within a matter of minutes, without phone tag or voicemails required. Now, providers love this because they can generate more reimbursable events at a lower cost, and this translates to a 10x ROI for them. And patients love it because they don't have to wait on hold or be in the middle of a meeting to get that call from the doctor's office to be able to figure out if their insurance is going to cover this treatment or service that they need. And because we have trained these models specifically around the verticals that we serve, we can handle over 90% of the questions that our providers have out of the box. Now, I mentioned to you that I live in Phoenix, where 40% of households speak a language other than English in the home. This means that our product, in order to serve most of the large metro areas in the United States, needs to be multilingual. We have several customers already using Spanish and Vietnamese inside our product. Now, we had the good fortune of launching our company in 2020. It was the year of COVID. And providers were desperate to get solutions into market that could serve their customers. And so they gave us millions of conversational transcripts, years worth, that we used to train these initial models. Since then, we have delivered over 5 million conversational interactions on our platform and continued to refine these models so that we can serve our customers accurately today. The conversational AI market is $40 billion globally. However, we're an early stage company. We can't serve the world quite yet. And so we stay focused. And here in the United States, in the markets that we serve, which are behavioral health, urgent care, elder care, and ambulatory, we're looking at a $5 billion opportunity. And as we grow into additional and adjacent markets, we can grow that to a $14 billion TAM. So I'm happy to report that we finally hit that $1 million ARR mark that every early stage startup seeks. We've grown 70% this year alone through mid-year. And we've had to do this all very efficiently, knowing how important capital efficiency is today. Now, we are a must-have for some of the leading behavioral health providers in the country. I'll point out a few of these here. Sheppard Pratt, which is a partner of Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. They are a leading research-based behavioral health institution that uses Botco AI as its first line of defense for all of its incoming inquiries. Because in behavioral health, these inquiries come at any time of the day, the night, or the weekend. And they rely on us to be that first point of capture. Other organizations you might recognize are like the ALS Association, the Ice Bucket Challenge folks. They use our product to help families that are dealing with ALS be able to understand where they can find a provider near them, get a second opinion, get genetic testing done, and even just get local support services. We also recently signed Brightside Health, one of the fastest growing telehealth behavioral health providers in the United States, just to name a few. Another category that has been growing for us tremendously is the elder care space. This is driven by the fact that America is aging. Baby boomers, the largest living population on the planet, is aging and will become the largest group of healthcare consumers on the planet. So how do we stack up to our competition? What our customers tell us every time when we win their business is that we are the only generative AI chat provider that has fine-tuned models that address their specific domains. We're the only ones that have automated all the workflows that they care about, that have integrated with the systems that they need out of the box, and we can deliver this all in no-code environment. Because none of our customers want this huge IT project that's going to cost them millions with Deloitte or one of the consultants and years of implementation. They want something that will go live quickly and work. So we are on track to grow tremendously this year, 3x and 3x again next year. Now let me explain to you why. This is being driven by the fastest technology adoption ever happening in the history of humanity. And we are at the cusp of that, just getting started. Before closing, I'd like to share some thoughts from one of our customers. This is Crisis Preparation and Recovery. Drew McSherry is the CEO. And what he has shared with us is that for him and his business, the largest behavioral health provider in Arizona, Botco AI has been mission critical. Without us, they would not be able to scale. Without us, they would not be able to service their patients 24/7. And most importantly, what he tells me, he loves this product because it never takes vacation, it never quits, it never takes a day off, and most importantly, it never puts anyone on hold. Thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions. Okay.
So congratulations. We've seen your company in 2020. And 2023, tremendous amount of growth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The question that I have is on the pricing power, of your applications.
Mm-hmm.
Could you share some insights on, what's the model right now?
Absolutely. So we sell our product through a SaaS subscription model. Sorry. Yeah. So they couldn't hear. He's asking about our pricing model and our pricing power. How we price our product, essentially. I could hear. I didn't realize you guys could. So it's all subscription based. We have plans that are based on the skills and integrations that the customers want. So if they want to use just our most basic product offering, we have this kind of land and expand approach where they come in at about $24,000 a year. But we have been able to quickly expand most of those customers upward of $50,000 to $100,000 a year in annual subscriptions because they want these new automations, verification of benefits, appointment scheduling. They want to be able to deploy on SMS and additional channels. They want to be able to use some of our more dynamic personalization capabilities. So with every skill in the product that they use, they have to bump up to a higher tier. And so we're now at the point where we have 2 customers that are already at the 100K annual subscription range, and we're starting to move our customers up that way. So the way we really grow revenue is twofold. New logo acquisition, of course, and then with our existing customer base, we're always mining for new expansion opportunities. Thanks.
So who do you sell to? As a provider? Is it payers or
So eventually, perhaps, but right now where we're really focused is the provider groups. And specifically, we find that it's the mid-sized 100 to 600 million revenue, PE-backed, groups that do best for us. And I'll explain why. They tend to be financially driven. They're operating in competitive businesses. They operate more like a business than a nonprofit. And they tend to also really resonate with our story around efficiency and patient experience, which is really what we help them deliver upon. One of those strategies that we have found very useful is going into PE groups that have rolled up recently, like large behavioral health groups or elder care organizations, and they're rolling us out within their entire portfolio. Payers could become a good one, but they have long sales cycles, and I have to close customers I like to close customers in 3 months, not 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, I did see Access in Arizona, Medicaid, state Medicaid. Now, tell me about what's their interest. How are they promoting your product?
Yes, so they're actually one of our largest customers, the 125K a year. And they're using our product for their SDOH initiative, social determinants of health. So what they found was that a lot of people were ending up in the emergency rooms for reasons like lack of housing, lack of adequate diet, basically not being able to have some essential services. So they're using our product to provide a resource for their patients, their 2.2 million Medicaid patients, to be able to get access to those resources immediately so they don't end up in the emergency.
So finish the rest of the story for me here. Tell me how it's solves me as problem, and then your target is the middle tier groups, not something huge like a Centura physicians group, because they all have their own portals, and it's really easy for people to go in on their portals and schedule lab tests or schedule appointments or even send an email to their doctors saying, look, I need a prescription renewed, okay? So what differentiates you from that?
So the items you described all require a human to actually go in and see the email or see the question and respond. And Patient Portal right now is taking about 3 to 4 days in getting an answer. So people are still waiting. That's the typical. And I've met with a bunch of provider groups that are telling us that that's pretty average. I also belong to HIMSS where they talk about that average all the time. Plus, Patient Portal utilization is under 10% for most of the bigger providers and health systems. And so relying on the portal is not a great option for them. What we give them is the opportunity to meet the patient where they are at, right, in their messaging channel of choice. So we're truly consumer centric as opposed to forcing the customer to go into the portal, which they've already seen they're not using very widely.
So will the bot refill the prescription?
Yeah, so that's part of the goal is automating those workflows. So what makes our product useful is not only do we understand what the request is and what the question is, but then we kick off the workflow to deliver on that request. So if it's a patient appointment request, if it's a verification of eligibility, a pre-authorization, any of those typical workflows are the ones that we're kind of slowly checking off as we go with each customer so that we can eventually complete all of those key administrative workflows that hold up the delivery of care.
So I would assume you're doing continuous training of your model okay.
Yeah, all the
Um,
time, constantly.
Yeah, when you enter into these different categories of customers, you have elder care now, in addition to just regular healthcare providers, how fast can you prepare your product for a different set of demands and potentially different set of privacy requirements, so on and so forth? Yeah.
Yeah, no, good question. The privacy requirements are pretty consistent across healthcare. HIPAA governs all of those. Behavioral health has higher standards because the HITECH Act requires additional scrutiny on behavioral health information. There's like additional penalties if you violate any of those rules. For elder care, that's pretty similar to regular healthcare. There's no real difference from a privacy or security standpoint. From a training standpoint, part of what we've built inside our product is a fast knowledge acquisition system that allows us to quickly train on new content and topics. Because even while we're trained on behavioral health or elder care, with every customer, we still have to train the AI on their unique data sets, right? So think of it as like the company's data set, then there's industry knowledge, and then there's like, general knowledge, right? We're focused on those first two areas. And so the answer to that question is roughly around 4 to 8 weeks. All right. Thank you very much. I'll be here for questions later.
All right. Hello. My name is Ranjani. And before we start, I'm going to talk about democratizing healthcare. So we've been sitting down for almost an hour or so. Do you guys mind standing up and let's do a little stretch? Okay, all right. Just like really high up and then to the right and then to the left. Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you for humoring me. So I am a undergraduate computer science student at the University of Georgia Tech. I'm 19 years old. With me, I have Ram, our CTO. He is a software engineer with over 30 years of experience applied to the healthcare field. Sailesh, a PhD in chemical engineering, works in pharmaceuticals. Sandra, a phlebotomist with over 20 years of experience. And Sai, a master's CS student at UIUC. And we are the team at Helium, and we're democratizing healthcare. So about 2 years ago, my sister lost her period. And we didn't know what the problem was, so we booked the next doctor's appointment we could find, which was about 2 weeks away, and we were freaking out the entire time because my mom had the same symptoms before she was diagnosed with cancer. At the appointment, they said, okay, we're gonna order a whole bunch of tests, but we're also gonna start her on hormone therapy just to be safe because we don't know what it is yet. And a week later, and $1,000 later, because we're on a high deductible plan, they told her that it was just an iron deficiency. And I was like, if we had known just a couple of months earlier, we could have force-fed her spinach and she would have gotten better. But healthcare in the United States is symptom-driven. And for us, that resulted in 3 large problems. Firstly, uncertain wait times. Secondly, reactive treatment. And thirdly, very high costs. Like, imagine this. Maybe your AC stops working and you call your electrician and you're like, oh my God, I really need some help. I don't know what's going on. Versus saying, hey, my AC isn't working. My light on the AC flickered 3 times. That means that this component isn't working. So I bought it on Amazon. I just need you to come in and help me install it. Think of the difference in your waiting time, in your costs, and your control in the overall outcome of your situation. And if you would do that for your AC, like, why not for your health? If you had a couple access to common tests, blood tests about your health, as periodically, as accessibly as you needed them, you could have that same control over your health. And that's what we do at Helium. We improve quality of life through comprehensive, accessible, periodic testing. We're a company that partners with laboratories and phlebotomists and writes SOPs to improve efficiency and lower costs in this blood testing process. We offer one panel of 56 tests, which include most of the tests that doctors have ordered in the US in the last 4 years, and you get them all for just $79.99 plus $40 for an at-home appointment. And to give you reference of how much this usually costs in the market, it's around 1/5 of the price as portrayed by this very, very enthusiastic comment on our Facebook page. And the best part is you don't need a doctor's order or prescription or insurance to get our product. You get onto our app, you book a test at a health fair near you or ask a phlebotomist to come to your home, and then you get your results within 4 days. We also offer guidance on care after you get those results. As for who we're targeting first, we're looking at people on high deductible plans, and these are people who already have a plan for themselves. They already have a certain amount of money set aside, and they're judicial about how they use that, so they are our most educated customers. Next, we'll be moving on to the uninsured, and finally, all employees, and with our goal being to replace annual healthcare physicals with our product. Now, just with revenue from blood tests and from consultations or summary reports, that comes out to around $11 billion market, but there are a lot more untapped areas of revenue that we are looking at going into in the future. And this includes medication prescriptions, statistics for employers, redirecting customers to other preventive care systems, integrated care models, anonymized population statistics, and even eventually working with the government to keep the uninsured from using ER as primary care. As for where we are in this process, we finished phase 1, which was our word of mouth marketing. We also have one established lab in Colorado, CLIA certified with all personnel and machinery funded by us. And for the last 10 months, we've been partnering with pharmacies, wellness groups, family resource centers, and wellness clinics, and using their locations as health fair locations for us, which is mutually beneficial. We don't pay rent, and we also have access to their customer bases, which means almost a zero customer acquisition cost. And in return, we increase their brand awareness and also increase walk-ins. And after a couple of rounds of funding, we'll be moving B2B, where we'll be servicing employers. And this is the point where we'll be really looking to grow our board and present case studies and also launch our Health Scores product. And then finally, we'll also be moving to those value-added services that I spoke about on the last slide. So it's been 10 months since we've launched, and we have over 1,400 users on our app and 700 panels purchased. We run regular health fairs in Colorado, Texas, and Georgia, and we have a $70,000 annual run rate. And our customers really love us, honestly, if that isn't being too forward. For example, one of our customers, Samantha, a couple of months ago, she was feeling a little bit down. And instead of going to her doctor, she said, okay, she found one of her flyers. She was like, I'll come to the health fair. And she did. 4 days later, she found out that she had a vitamin D deficiency despite being on supplements. And a closer look also revealed a calcium deficiency. And it turns out that vitamin D deficiency affects calcium absorption. So a lot of the symptoms that she was experiencing were actually secondary, and because of a problem that she wouldn't have known about unless she spent about 2 months with a doctor and at least 2 doctor appointments. Instead, she was able to walk into her local pharmacy on a Saturday morning and get her results within 4 to 5 days. As for how we're different from our competition, they are expensive. None of them are improving on efficiency or capitalizing on data. We're the equivalent to blood testing as Mark Cuban's cost plus drugs is to pharmaceuticals. Or I might say, what was the difference between Mint Mobile and T-Mobile, or Robinhood and TD Ameritrade? We're all improving on small facets within the field that really lower costs and improve efficiency. And nobody is more comprehensive, inexpensive, or convenient than us. As for our unit economics, at present time, each panel costs us $76. We've done around 1,000 tests, or we predict to do so at the end of year one. And our cost of a customer acquisition is around $7 right now. Most of our growth is through word of mouth, and we spent less than $1,000 on Facebook marketing. With capital, you can see the projections on the board. We will level out to around $59, and then by year 5, we will break even. And as for how much we're raising, we are looking to raise $2 million. And I know that seems like a lot, but we are not a company that's at seed stage or even at a idea stage. We're not even at MVP. We have a good source of revenue. We have a plan in place, contracts with Southwest to ship our blood, and we are looking to grow our team. All we need to do now is get to a lot of other states that we have a demand in and keep running a regular health fairs to reach our goals. Thank you, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Ranjini. This is a great idea. I have at least heard about a number of services providing similar kind of value to the customer, to the general public. Can you elaborate on what the customers can really benefit from your service after they get the results? Are you referring them back to their primary care? If they're uninsured, what's the next step?
Right. So most of the appeal for our current customers right now is that we provide their data directly back to them, and they can do whatever they want with it after. They can give it to their doctor if they want to do that, or they can, if they're into Ayurvedic or other types of remedy sources, they can go that direction. But we also do provide, well, in a couple of weeks, we will provide a summary report sort of product where they'll be able to get with a nurse practitioner. They will review their results. They'll get on a call with them, and then they will get to next steps with them. We also offer a trend service where if you get test with us multiple times, you'll be able to see how you're progressing. So our customer, for example, now knows that if she sees her calcium deficiency, sees her calcium levels going down, she'll be able to get whatever supplements that she needs without even getting symptoms. So those are the kind of overall benefits that they're getting.
So you can potentially sell a package of multiple tests, let's say 4 tests a year, 1 panel of tests every quarter. Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, that's basically it. We have not done a subscription model quite yet. We are still gauging how often our customers want our service. It's been kind of, we've hit the 6-month mark, but our 6-month mark was during the summer slump, so it's a sort of seasonal market, and so we're waiting till it's November to see how often people want it and to get more feedback from our customers. But a subscription sort of model is potentially what we're looking at.
Great presentation,
you.
unique space. Question for you. There's a lot of other companies that are probably bigger and already in the home test market, like a Quidel, or how do you go grab their market?
Okay, that's fair. So when we're talking about big company, I might say Quest. Quest is what you mostly think of for lab tests. They operate on about a 20%, 17 to 20% profit margin. And the Medicare rates that you're getting for Quest tests for the panel that we're doing is around $376. Even if they were to cut back on that, they couldn't even do the test that we're doing for $300, let alone $80. And then secondly, I would say if we're looking at, there are multiple other companies that are doing tests. If they suddenly drop their prices, I can't imagine what their contracts with what happens to their credibility, what happens with their contracts with hospitals and other providers. For example, I think Tesla was at a pretty high share price recently, but they dropped their price to compete with the China market and to increase sales. But then their share price dropped. So I don't think you could do things without having real consequences, and that's what our competitors are facing.
So let me rephrase that question. Quidel is a home test kit company. So there's a whole bunch of these home test kits, home blood tests. How do you position yourself there? And
Oh, okay, that's fair. So when you're looking at home test kits, usually you're looking at dry testing. So you kind of prick yourself, you put it on the kit, and then dry it, send it to them. There are very few tests compared to what we're doing that you can do with a dry test kit. So that's one piece. The other piece is that usually they are not FDA approved. And we are CLIA certified. We work with lab directors, lab technicians who do this day in and day out, and we have those certifications.
I don't understand the core innovation. What's the innovation here?
Okay, so I'll give you about 4 to 5 reasons why our cost is lower than other areas, or the ways that we're improving on efficiency. So mainly, we don't work with insurance. We don't have those operating costs that are involved in that. If you visit any other lab in Colorado, as I've done the last 2 years, you'll see that about 10 personnel working there, 4 to 5 are working just on managing insurance claims. Then secondly, we're a mobile service, so we rely on independent contractors rather than full-time employees. Thirdly, we manage efficiency, so we really increase efficiency in our labs. They're meant to only do these panel of 56 tests. And to get into a really specific example, if we're taking the test Lightbase, it does a lot better when it's run separately from all other tests. So we do that. We run it separately, and we increase. Other places do around 7 tests an hour. We can do 12 to 13 panels, I guess, an hour, not tests.
Are those panels yours? Did you build those?
I have not. I mean, there is no.
So let me put it this way. If somebody else wants to do the same thing, can they do it? Your idea?
Yes, they can, but they are highly incentivized not to. $80 is the bare minimum price that you can do it at, which is why we are to de-incentivize other engineers who are coming up
How are you
with
going to make money if you can't?
additional avenues of revenue. We are first to market, and we're going to get there pretty soon. We'll get there sooner than anybody else that is planning on
Okay.
to.
All right. Thank you. Core innovation.
See, we're not creating new technology. I don't think a lot of other people who have done things in various fields, a lot of other companies that have come up, have necessarily done things that is technically innovative, right? You can improve other ways also and create a niche for yourself, as we have done. Yes, process innovation. Okay, if there are no more questions from the, yeah.
What's your ideal interoperability between your app and all of the other backend electronic health record systems that physicians?
Right. So currently we don't have any yet. We are building that by the end of this year. We have some sort of plan to get that up. But right now, our clients find it much easier to just send it to their provider, just email it to them, or just show it to them at their appointment, and that is the thing that works the best. Okay. All right. Sorry. If we have time, there's one more question back there that I'd like to get.
How accurate are these tests compared to doing a test or something? And how do you protect yourself from being wrong in your analysis?
Yeah, that's fair. We are as accurate as any other lab out there, as accurate as Quest, as accurate as LabCorp. Because we are CLIA certified, we actually use a third party to verify our results periodically, once about every 4 months. And they send us blind samples. We do those. We test those values and then send the samples back to them. So far, we've gotten 100% on every test that we've done. And sorry, I apologize. Was there another part to your question? Oh, how do I? So we have a general liability insurance built into the cost of our test that we have insurance for. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hello. All right, let's get seated. Check. Vishy? Vishy, it's not working, right? Oh, it's working? I can't see a green light. All right, let's get seated. You can't hear? How about now? All right. Okay, it's going to be the last game board.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shale. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Last Game Board. As you said, we went to the moon today to do incentives, so there's no pressure, right? Okay, where's my mobile gaming, social gaming, console gaming.
Is it on now?
Yeah. Is that it?
Thank you. I'm aware. All right. Is that better? You can hear me better now? Okay. I can project too. All right. So my two numbers that I shared was 3 billion. That's how many people identify as gamers globally. And 500 million. Oh, sorry. I got them messed up now. I'm going to start again. Global gaming has seen, oh my God, you're messing me up. You got to calm down. Thank you. Just dial it back. All right. Global gaming has seen some astronomical rises in the past few years. In a couple years, the global games market will reach over 500 billion in revenue. That's video gaming, that's mobile gaming, that's console gaming, that's everything. Yet there's something really missing. Every device, every game that you play is meant for you. It's meant for you as an individual to play. Yes, you're interacting in virtual worlds with virtual avatars, but it's isolating, right? You're alone. Most products and gaming devices today are meant for a single individual gaming experience. There's no connectivity around a social physical connection available to gamers today. Most gamers, and the number I said was 3 billion, when interviewed by tons of great Gallup polls around the world, 77% said they don't feel connected. They feel alone. We're more connected now ever as a society, yet most people feel alone, especially amongst the youth. ADHD, depression, suicide. Parents just sued Fortnite, which is a video game, because they said that it proves addictive behaviors for their children. This is not just an issue in the United States. This is a global issue affecting gamers and humans everywhere. Social games, which is tabletop games. So anything from cards, checkers, anytime I say tabletop, just think of anything from cards, checkers, backgammon, all the way to Dungeons and Dragons, which is what I like to play, has seen phenomenal rise, especially amongst the youth. Our total addressable market is 77 billion as a TAM, and this includes everything, anything that can be played on a shared surface. So chess, backgammon, you just told me that someone from India just made it to the World Cup of the chess tournament. It is about interaction. Why has chess been played for over 2,000 years? It's the same game, yet it sees such incredible adoption and traction and repeated use of play. They're indelible, they're infinitely replayable because they mean something to us, right? That's why social tabletop games are played by every country, every culture in the entire world. Meet Gameboard. Gameboard is a social gaming device. It is a beautifully crafted 17 by 17 inch device. It's lightweight, it's thin, it's portable, and we have the ability to gather people and play. You turn it on like Netflix. You have access to hundreds, eventually thousands of gaming experiences. You select whichever game you want to play. The board becomes it. Our patented tech lets you use real physical pieces on the surface. So we're showing a hybrid sense of play. We have 2 patents. One is around the hardware. I want everyone to take a moment and think about how you interact with your tablet and your phone or any touchscreen device that you have. Once again, it's meant for you. There's 10 touch points that are kind of shown on your iPhone. Big Samsung gaming tablets or gaming TVs, you can do 50 touch points, right? Meaning only one person can play on it. On Gameboard, multiple people can interact with the surface and we can understand every sort of gameplay mechanism, right? 2 people are playing cards, you're playing chess, you can do it simultaneously. You can add physical pieces, add physical components. There is no theoretical limit to how many touch points and interactions we have. Our second patent is the machine learning algorithm that powers our touch. So we see touch unlimited on the surface of Gameboard. I'm getting dry mouth. Most importantly, we see touch in 3 dimensions, meaning that we can understand it on a z-axis as well. So if you're working in AR, you can touch an AR object and we can see it.
That's our second patent. It can scale into different devices, different surfaces. We're currently going to do a proof of concept with one of the biggest tablet manufacturers in the world. Our mission, first and foremost, is to bring humanity through play. It's about bringing people together on a shared collective social experience, an experience that can be played by all. And we do this by reducing the friction between the creator of the game and the player of the game. Every single board game company you can think of, from, I'm going to name a bunch, but you guys won't know them, so I'll just name the games, like Catan, Monopoly, Settlers of Catan is pretty big, but Dungeons and Dragons, Color Scheme, Stop Thief. Think of a tabletop game. It's on Game Board, or it's coming to Game Board. We have over 300 publishers and creators on our pipeline. This is an antiquated and broken system of analog. We're providing analytics back, data back. How does a player play? How do they discover new content? Who are they playing with? And how often do they play? There's valuable player information that we're providing back to these companies, and that's why they're signing on to Game Board. The average player, and we have over 1,000 Game Boards out in the field. The average player spends about 8 to 9 hours a month on Game Board. Our power users, which is 14% of our players, spend 6 to 7 hours a week on Game Board. And my favorite statistic, how many people did you play with? You should never be playing alone. I failed as a product owner if you played by yourself against an AI on Game Board. The average player plays with 2 to 3 different players every single week. Meaning you're playing with your kids, you're playing with your friends, you're playing with your family group, whoever it is. It is a social shared experience. And that is what we're cultivating on Game Board. And the average playtime is 50 minutes on Game Board. So it's like fun, easy games that anyone can pick up. We have blended hardware and software margins, 65 to 70% across Game Board. We charge $500 for the actual unit and $15 a month subscription. So it's like Netflix again, $15 gives you access to all the games. We also have different tiers. If you are playing Monopoly, but you want to play the Star Wars version, you can purchase that. We take a 20% cut. The creator gets back 80%. We allow for in-game purchases, expansion packs. There's a lot of expansibility with our model to date. All right, so we closed beta earlier this year, and we did $516,000 in revenue in the first 2 months of closing beta, and we're on track to do $2.2 million by the end of 2023. We've seen 153% to 165% month-over-month growth since closing beta as well, and we're on track to do $100 million in revenue in the next 3 to 4 years. So we sell D2C currently on our website. We have a distribution deal with GameStop, a national distribution deal with GameStop. In 2024, we're integrating with Epic Games. So that's Epic Online Services. Epic is the creator of Fortnite, Unreal Engine. I don't know if you've seen them. They're pretty great with gaming. We won a grant from Unreal Engine, and we're going to do a huge EOS integration with them. We're also trying to launch a proof of concept with Marriott, similar that we did with GameStop. Game Board can be wherever people go to play and gather, and that is who we're selling to. So yes, we have a strong D2C funnel, but we also sell B2B. Our team comes from Xbox, Netflix, Disney, NASA. We're backed by some of the greatest investors, SOSV, Riot Games, TVC. Our latest investor is AARP. They are taking their entire gaming library and putting it on Game Board. And they see the future of tabletop gaming and Game Board as connecting generations, not just people, right? You want to play backgammon or chess with perhaps your aging parent or your grandparent. They don't know how to play Fortnite. I barely know how to play Fortnite. So it helps connect people despite societies, despite socioeconomic, classes, despite age, and that's what we're targeting. So we are the future of gaming because it's about bringing connection and humanity back. And my ask is very simple to you. Not only is Game Board ready for the global stage because we're looking to expand in a global marketplace, but we can put Colorado on a global stage because we're ready to expand not just to players in the United States, but into EU, into EMEA, and specifically Asia. Thank you. Thank you. My ask is for you to choose me to go to Singapore for Thai. Yes. Yes. That's why I said send me to the global stage. That is my
Okay.
ask to you.
Okay, you're not raising capital right now?
We've raised 7 million in capital to date. We're closing a Series A right now of $8 million in the next
Okay.
few months. So I'm hoping to keep it open if I get the opportunity to go to Thai Global.
Okay, all right.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about competition? Because you mentioned that you're partnering with the largest, is it LG or I don't know who it is. Epic.
I cannot tell you, but yes, someone similar.
Like
someone
a
similar.
hardware manufacturing. Yes.
Think of some of the biggest tablet manufacturers in the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm thinking Asia.
Yes, exactly.
So can you talk about competition? You definitely had a kind of a first mover advantage from a gamer. I know you're a gamer yourself. I'm not, but I would love to try. So can you talk a little bit about how you can, fend off future competition copycats?
Yeah.
Despite the patents that you have.
So I think, honestly, anyone can replicate anything that you're doing, right? But why are we in the startup space if that's the truth of the world? Yes, we have patents, which gives us a head start. But most importantly, because we have a head start, I think large companies want to partner with us to use our touch driver technology in their existing touch devices, right? We save them years of R&D. We save them cost. We're cheaper to acquire than we are to build anything from scratch. And could I sue a large manufacturer, not that it's LG, but like LG? Yeah, but I mean, how long would that take, right? We're more of an acquisition for someone like that than we are a competitor. And I think that's how big conglomerates view startups, is more of an acquisition than like trying to replicate what you're doing. And because we're a platform, we've signed on exclusive partners. These partners that come on, they sign game licensing agreements with us. They're deploying their content. We own the entire library, right? So when you buy us, you're not just buying our tech, or when you partner with us, you're not just partnering with us for our tech, you're partnering with us for our platform and our entire roster of games.
So basically, it's a little dangerous to say, but it's absolutely possible that you guys are the only game board of this sort.
Yeah, there's no product on the market that can do what Gameboard can do. People have tried to do like just a touch screen and put like Monopoly on it, and that's great. You have your iPad. Why do you need that? There's no product on the market that can do what we can.
I've spent a lot of time last month researching this domain here for the games. We almost invested in a gaming company. Most of the market that you described, that's for online gaming, right? The Xbox or
Correct.
PlayStation, the number of creators and publishers on
Not
that
the
side.
77 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Not
this particular
Yeah.
market,
Yeah.
what is the market size you're thinking about?
So this market is 77 billion. The 500 billion that I was talking about of global games revenue, that is video games, mobile games, all of that stuff. I'm going which way? On Gameboard. 77 billion is our TAM, and that includes social gaming, and I'm going the wrong way.
Okay. 77 billion. That's okay.
Yeah. 77 billion is our TAM. There we go.
Okay. So that includes only the any game board kind of thing, the
It
stuff.
includes
So that's how
board
you
games.
you arrived at that number,
Yeah,
$77 billion.
Yeah.
And who in your team worked in Xbox?
Rob Wyatt, one of my co-founders. So there's 3 co-founders, me, Tim, right over there filming me, and
Okay.
Rob Wyatt is our 3rd co-founder. Rob was this original architect of the Xbox. He actually helped build it with Seamus Blackley. He worked on Magic Leap. He worked and helped build Atari 360S as well.
Why is he building this? What does he think about Xbox? This is better than Xbox?
Yeah, he does. He does, because he has a daughter. I have a daughter. We connected on how do you build meaningful interactions in gaming, right? He was just working on a first-person shooter game when I met him with Xbox. And I think I came to him with this idea of let's bring people together around gaming. Let's build a product that's inherently designed to bridge the gap between physical and digital. Let's make it familial. Let's make it friendly, right? And in that, he saw power. It's not just about one person seeing the power, though. We have a 20,000 person wait list, right? Including our co-founder. There are people who see tabletop and board games as a way to bridge what is missing in gaming today, which is isolation. Everyone feels it.
Okay, thank you.
Have you looked at partnering with the existing game board companies? And I'm going old school as a mom here, you know, talking about Sorry and Shoots and Ladders
Yes.
and that.
Yes, yes. We partner. Hasbro is one of the companies that owns like Sorry and Monopoly. Absolutely.
I don't know if I heard you right, but you said one of the key things out of your game board is doing a whole bunch of analytics and sending it back to the gamers.
Yeah.
I'm concerned as somebody who's looking at this as a social experience thing, how much of my data is going to go back?
So it's
What's the security?
So I mean, it's we do a high level like system architecture for our security. We have encryption, end-to-end encryption, especially on the physical device. We have a key. I mean, this is all because of Rob, thankfully. Like we have a key on one side of a game board and authenticates to our software and our servers as well. So from that side, game board is protected. But from the player data and sharing size, all data that we provide is anonymous player data. So it's things like how many people did you play with? You know, what was the age or demographic around who you played with? We never share personal information back to our creators. And they can access it on our dashboard too. Like they log in and they can just see it. Awesome. Thank you. I think I know how to go backward. Yeah, of course.
guys are so diligent. I love it. Hi, I'm Karin Frame, CEO and founder of Makina. We connect healthy and eco-friendly brands with consumers through a consumer-facing mobile app and a brand-focused data insights dashboard. In short, we built the omni-channel, retail-agnostic loyalty platform that helps brands understand their consumers and engage directly with them. Is it? Can you guys hear me? Okay, I thought it could.
Here, that's okay. I'll just hold it. Hey, I'm super passionate about this space because, yeah, there you go. Because I grew up in a lake across the street from a cornfield that was sprayed with pesticides every year. I know firsthand the importance of what you put in and on your body because everyone in my family got sick. And obviously, I'm not alone. 97% of consumers would buy better products, especially if they were affordable and accessible anywhere they needed to shop. So previously, I built interactive kiosk systems for what is now Whole Foods. And I'm a former general counsel and CPA and worked in data at Accenture and Intel. I had my aha moment when I was teaching entrepreneurship at the University of Colorado. So, as I mentioned, this is the second time I've been a founder in this space. As a result, I have a lot of natural products, brands, friends. They launch in farmers markets, they grow this loyal following, then they end up in large retailers like Walmart and Amazon, only to get lost on the shelf and eventually go out of business because consumers can't discover and find their products. So they spend millions upon millions of dollars with companies like Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram and also TikTok. And then they spend even more money on data with companies like Nielsen and Numerator, just so that they can figure out who their shoppers are, where they're shopping, and what is in their basket. So this is the mess that Makina is solving for. There's a lot of very expensive data out there. Walmart sells data, Kroger sells data, Nielsen sells data, and it's all fragmented. And so what we have done is we've normalized that data and put it all in one place so we make it easy for brands and retailers and brokers and distributors and data aggregators and brand agencies and healthcare providers to figure out who these shoppers are, where they're shopping, and what is in their basket to make it so much easier for them to really understand how we can have a healthier population and a cleaner planet. So we have a free mobile app where the consumers can download, they can discover, engage, find brands anywhere they shop, on Thrive Market, on Amazon, at King Soopers, at Safeway. We don't care. They can buy products and get rewarded for buying those products, and they get cash, and they can get swag, and they can get free product for trying them. And then for the brand, we collect all that data, that first party data, we put it in one place so that they can understand that consumer and what they're doing, and what they're buying. So even with a little investment, seems like a super crowded space, but it's not. Even with just a little bit of investment, we've built a very different technology than our competition. It is proprietary to Makina. Unilever, Organic Valley, Sprouts all recognize that we are the integrated loyalty and CRM platform that allows our brand customers to directly engage with the consumer, both on a one-to-one and a one-to-many basis. We're an extension of a brand's marketing team. And we just signed an exclusive partnership with the largest data insights company in the natural products industry, which is Spins. That partnership is worth $25 million over the next 3 years. So this is how it works for the consumer. The consumer downloads the app. They can engage with brands anywhere. They can find things that match either their dietary needs or lifestyle preferences. We've integrated AI into our platform, as well as lots of machine learning capabilities. And when they have the product in hand, all they have to do is scan the barcode and submit a photo of the receipt through the app. And it works because one of our competitors is getting 1 million receipts a day. They just go ahead and they cash out through Venmo or PayPal. So, and for brands, it only takes a couple days to launch. We get all of their SKUs. We upload it to the back end. The computer platform that we have built actually recognizes the brand product, and the consumer automatically gets the points, and the brand can target and retarget those consumers. So this industry is growing. Just recently, Deloitte published a paper where CMOs are acquiring 200% more on data over the next 3 years. So it's a very big industry and it continues to grow. It's a huge opportunity, and this is just a beachhead for us. So we have 120,000 active mobile users. Each of them are spending over 7.5 minutes on Makina. We have very sticky users. We have above the industry average of users staying on our platform 42% of the time. Again, I mentioned that we partnered with Spins just recently. The SOW and the agreement has been signed, and we have about another 8 SOWs we're signing with them. They are taking Makina into their tens of thousands of retailers and putting us directly in front of the consumer. We have one investor from Natural Grocers who has told us that he's got 30 million consumers coming through his stores every single month. So if you're asking about go-to-market strategy, that is our go-to-market strategy around the consumer itself. We do have revenue. We have about 500,000 trailing in revenue, and we're going to hit about $1 million this year. So we sell our software as a service. We charge a launch fee and a monthly subscription fee, but of course, our real value is in the data that we are collecting. With our partnership with Spins, our LTV is going up tremendously because they are using our data in their data insights reports, which are selling between 100,000 and 150,000 a customer. They have 3,200 customers. So we will be well over over a $160 million a year company within 5 years. So as I said, our consumer acquisition costs are super low because of our partnerships, and also and same with our brand partnerships as well. So this is, as I said, my 3rd time as a founder. Rick, my number 2, has been with Makina for 4 years. I used to work with him at what is now Broadcom. He is also a former founder, and Jonathan McCautry is a multiple founder with multiple exits and is a data scientist as well as an excellent business partner. So we are raising money. We just finished due diligence with Salt Lake City Angels. And so if you want more information about that, please come talk to me later. Most of that money will be used to grow our shopper base, to be in front of those consumers at the retail stores. Here are some of the key accelerators and some of our earned media. So we'd love it if you would join us as we grow Makina into a $1 billion healthy household name all across the globe. Thank you. Questions?
Hi, Karin. How many brands do you have right now on your platform?
About 150
Okay.
and
Are-
4,500 products.
So are these, what's their, I guess, lifespan on your platform on average? The longest versus the more recent, yeah.
So we have about a 95% retention rate for our brands. Very few of them have asked to come off. And with Spins, it's only going to get better. because they recognize that they don't have the consumer data, they just have point of sale data. So we're layering that consumer data on top of the point of sale data.
Can you elaborate on some of the ways that they're able to utilize this data that you provide to them to improve their sales strategy, their product, their
Yeah.
interaction, like customer loyalty? I guess?
Yeah, so our consumers are very sticky and they want to help these brands. So it's everything from taking a photo of a display in the store on the shelf, so really understanding what the competition is doing around them, to answering surveys and polls, kind of working like a numerator, where numerator is charging anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 for a panel, to really understanding who their true demographic is and connecting with that consumer as they're coming into the store. Because Makina collects all that data as to when people are actually buying product. So you can meet that consumer as a brand as they're coming into the store and they're looking around the shelf.
Do you also have a consumer, let's say I have your app, do you know if what percentage of them might have a actual serious health condition versus somebody who's, I just want to eat clean and improve health?
So we've applied for an NIH and USDA grants, and so we're going to be doing quite a bit of studies around that. So it'll be self-reported by the initial user of the app, and then we're going to see how well they do health-wise as they start using the app, and they're basically paying the same thing for a Kind bar that they would for a Snickers bar, or buying organic. Yeah. So we don't know now, but it's self-reported. There's survey at the very beginning when a user signs up. So we know if they're vegan, we know if they have kids, we know, their zip code, we know their name actually, because almost every single consumer that is using Makina has basically sold us their data, in short.
This is end of August. You said 1 million forecasted revenue.
Yeah,
What is it now?
it is closer to 100,000. And the reason being is because we signed that partnership with Spins. They have 3,200 brands. We have started to go to market with them. We're sharing a booth with them at Expo East in Philadelphia in 3 weeks. So we're estimating that we're going to get 10 to 20 new brands a month. And those launch fees are going up from 3,000 to almost 20 or 40 or 50,000, depending upon the size of the brand.
So you think 8 months you did 100,000, and in 4 months you're going to do 900,000.
Yeah, remember, we're also collecting data for data insights reports, and Spins is already selling into that brand base. So we're getting 50% of the revenue that is generated from the data that we're collecting.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know it seems crazy, but we've been around and people know who we are. We're not.
You guys have your own mobile app. Do you see any integrations of Makina or white labeling lists into any of the other brands, or how do you integrate that?
Yeah, so we were asked by 100 plus. Now, we don't know if we're going to do it yet, but Unilever, Coca-Cola, AB InBev, and Colgate Palmolive are doing testing, and they'd like us to be part of their testing. We had talked to Nestle about white labeling Makina for them, but we decided as a company that it would be better for the company to be able to aggregate all of this somewhat agnostic data in one place versus just providing it to one brand or to one retailer, if that makes sense. It's better for the brand, it's better for the retailer in the end, it's better for the consumer, it's better for the earth.
So what's the threshold for a product that you would allow on your app? I mean, you mentioned Coca-Cola, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, not on my top list of healthy products.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these multinationals have bought natural products brands. So for example, Justin's was acquired by Hormel. Annie's was acquired by General Mills. They still want to keep those brands being those brands, and they really don't have a way to do that now. They've gotten kind of mixed into Coca-Cola, just like you're saying. But what we use standard-wise is we use the standard of if that brand could get into a natural grocers, then it can be on our app. And at least every single brand that is on our app has at least 3 attributes. They may be USDA certified organic, they may be a certified B Corporation, they may be non-GMO or gluten-free, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. I will make sure to speak very closely to the mic. Thank you all for sticking around to the last pitch. I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Dr. Camilo Scategui. I'm co-founder and CEO of Vitra 3D. My story in manufacturing began about 10 years ago when I was doing some work in rural Latin America helping establish a health clinic. I realized that there were doctors and nurses around to help out, but the tools and the equipment that we needed were inaccessible. They were nowhere to be found or too expensive to get to the place where I was at in this rural area. So I made it my life's mission to work on innovating in the manufacturing space, and I thought that was the most exciting thing I could do in my life. 10 years later, and we're making that a reality with Vitra 3D, where solutions materialize, and we're bringing a completely different breakthrough industrial process to market. So first, I want to start by telling you that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, because the video that you're about to see looks a little bit like magic, so please excuse me while I walk you through it. But we are making magic at Vitra 3 to make that dream a reality, because we have proprietary software and novel optical designs that allow us to materialize 3D parts in seconds, not hours or days, which is the standard today. So this is a real-time demo of our 3D printer working in the lab, where we use light rays to solidify a liquid material in seconds. So you can see there that that structure is rotating in this liquid material, and by the time I finish the sentence, the structure appears right before your eyes. That was about 20 seconds that took us to complete that final part, and we are so different from any 3D printer out there because we are able to do this in seconds for many different applications. But really the question is, why is 3D printing limited today? So layer by layer 3D printing, which I'm sure you're all at least have heard about, is still quite slow. So it takes hours to weeks for final parts to be produced. It's limited in the material choices that can be made and the applications that it can go into. It can be quite inaccurate. If you've ever seen a 3D printed part have those layers, and there can be huge size and resolution trade-offs, as well as cumbersome. There's multiple labor-intensive steps in order to get a final 3D printed part. But that's really where we come in. Our process enables innovative solutions and new applications where we're able to use a software-powered additive manufacturing tool to solve the industry's biggest challenges. We're fast, so we can make final parts in less than 5 minutes. We're able to support a broader set of materials that 3D printers currently can't access, such as highly viscous or very thick materials. We have unique capabilities. So because this all happens inside of a volume, we're actually able to 3D print around existing structures. So imagine a metal in the middle, and you can 3D print a plastic around it, a 3D printed object that we first print, and then 3D print a second object around it. Possibilities are endless. And the last is key. Automation. This hands-free post-processing that we're building into our 3D printed product allows it to not only be faster, but also reduce the amount of labor-intensive, cost-prohibitive aspects of 3D printing that are in the market today. And this is able to impact some of the largest industries out there. And we are shaping the future because this breakthrough industrial process supplants existing manufacturing methods and enables new applications. From the electronic components market all the way to personalized implants, organ tissue printing, and industrial additive manufacturing, such as in automotive and aerospace. But we're a very small company, so we're not going to target these all at the same time. And we have found an intense market pull in the electronic components market, and that's why we're making it our beachhead. Today, the electronic components market faces some upcoming regulation issues related to PFAS. Right now, the only way that they're able to produce these electronic connectors and components will be impossible to do with the PFAS regulations coming up. These are those forever chemicals that we don't want in our environment. And today it takes long lead times and slow customization and iteration for these high value electronic components and connectors to come to market today. With Vitro 3D, we're able to allow for cost-effective small batch production because of this 3D printing process. And we're able to allow for reduced assembly. Remember how I told you we can print around things? Imagine the new electronic components and connectors where our industrial process can be put in a manufacturing line and it can just be printed right there around that metal structure. Here's a quote from the head of innovation of a $1 billion electronic components OEM, where he told us that this has the potential to impact over 40% of their catalog for all the reasons that I told you there. We're currently in conversations with them for strategic investment as well as a future JDA. Our business model is focused on recurring revenue because we are a software-powered manufacturing hardware tool. We use off-the-shelf components when it comes to the hardware, and it's configured into an affordable custom solution for our customers that allow them to solve those biggest challenges. The main ways that we primarily plan on making money is through a subscription, whereas software as a service can be used plus that hardware that's going to be custom to the solution. Furthermore, it can also be usage-based, where we are able to provide a per-part consumable cartridge where we're able to charge per part. Because this is all software-powered, our software is able to learn from the parts that are being produced in order to make it better and smarter as we continue to grow. When it comes to our competition, like I said, you've heard of the layer-by-layer 3D printers, but there are other volumetric 3D printers out there, and we are head and shoulders better than them because of this algorithm and software capabilities that we have. We're able to have a cartridge that does that automated post-processing. We're the only ones in the market working on that. Our size and resolution trade-offs are beyond what anybody else can do in the volumetric 3D printing space, as well as the fact that we're able to do overmolding and overprinting with multiple materials in a way that nobody has ever done it before. And our moat is growing. Our intellectual property really comes from some of the work that my co-founder and I did during our PhD. We have an issued patent, which is a product by process patent that allows us to do these very complex multi-material parts, as well as some pending patents around our algorithm and this proprietary hardware. We have a team of domain experts and seasoned entrepreneurs. So me and my co-founder, Johnny Hergert, met about 7 years ago, and we've been innovating on 3D printing in the volumetric space for a long time together. David Rames, our Chief Business Officer, who you're welcome to meet later on today, has started several companies and has had 3 successful exits. We have an amazing team of engineers and world-class scientific and business advisors that allow us to not only be successful in this domain, but have shown their great credibility in connecting us to industries beyond what we could imagine. We're accelerating from the bench to the market. We raised a pre-seed round at the end of last year, which has helped us get to a alpha product by the end of the year. And we're currently raising a seed round of $3 million that will get us to pilots and initial revenue by 2024. Thank you so much for your time. And I just want to tell you that I had no idea that when we started with Vitra 3D, we saw that that initial dream of being able to access those rural areas could solve some of the biggest industries' biggest challenges. Please join us on our journey, and I'd love to answer any of your questions.
Can the software make money without the hardware?
So it depends on what you consider the software and the hardware. So the software component can make money without the hardware in terms of having that data that it's able to generate that huge data set from the printing that we're actually doing. We have considered methods of just leasing or doing some sort of license of the hardware and then actually just generating revenue through the software, through that SaaS model.
Got it.
So what's your current facility? This is, of course, I haven't talked to you for a while.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about the history. So whatever you have built earlier for maybe the dental market, I'm guessing that if you haven't started producing anything yet, it doesn't require a whole change. Can you elaborate on that? Is the idea to raise 3 million, how are you going to use the money? Or do you want it to build a small facility so that you can start 3D printing, at least prototypes for some test customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So because we are this new 3D printing platform, we our 3D printing capabilities can go from dental aligners to something like electronic components and connectors. So the prototype 3D printer that we have in the lab at University of Colorado Boulder, which I'd love to show you all if anybody is interested, can currently both support previous interest in the dental space as well as electronic components and connectors. Right now, we're moving into some new space to build some additional units, and we're working with the electronic connectors and components company to actually do a pilot and build a unit so they can establish it in their facility themselves. There is some consideration in terms of us having, at least a facility of printers where we can sell per part. So we've considered that internally, but we do have about 2 printers right now, and we're looking to have 4 printers by the end of the year. Our goal is to be a breakthrough industrial process and actually install printers in the manufacturing space. So we are going to charge per part in one scenario or charge as a hardware as a service scenario. So not necessarily sell that capital equipment itself, but actually be able to identify those high value applications, make a hardware that makes sense for these high value application customers, and then be able to get revenue from that.
Do you have a pilot customer right now, like as your partner at least?
Yeah,
It sounds
so
like you do, right?
we are currently in that negotiation. Right now, it's to grow our team, ensure that we have the right facility space because it is our bill of materials for our hardware is about $18,000. So we want to be able to build out that hardware facility. So not a huge amount of hardware, but at least
6 to 8 more printers in the next 2 years, as well as grow our team in the software side of things. So be able to hire 2 engineers in the software side of things, as well as a product engineer.
So when do you hit the non-linear growth? When would it be?
Yeah, we're looking about 2026 is really what we're seeing as that nonlinear growth, hopefully earlier. But we are working with folks that, as I said, see this as a potential game changer for their industrial manufacturing process.
Who are your current customers?
So right now we are pre-revenue, so we have potential customers. It is this, I don't feel fully comfortable just saying out loud who the company is, but it is a company that's well known for the electronic components and connectors horizontal space. So they work with companies like Samsung all the way to companies like LG in the medical device space. They're quite a horizontal company, as you can imagine, electronic components and connectors are.
Are your patents covering international territories?
Yes. Yes.
Where?
So I actually just received one of the confirmations for Asia and Europe. There is a patent that we're currently looking at expanding kind of the countries, but they are mostly covered in Asia and Europe for now.
Any partners in your prototype phase who are going to continue to work with you once you get the seed funding, the seed
Exactly.
funding and stuff?
Yes, exactly.
How big are they going to be for you?
They're going to be huge. So they are a $1 billion company. And they're a private company that's well run and has really good margins. So we're feeling really excited about both the company culture connection as well as the potential of working with them. Any questions from the audience if the judges don't have any more questions for now? Awesome, thank you.
All right. Anyone on the live stream? We're going to end it right now and go to the speakers, guest speakers, and also the judges will go into deliberation to pick the winner and the runners up. And so you're ending it here, right? Vishi's backstage. All right. Cool. We'll give the judges a few minutes to wrap up on Vitro 3D, and then I'm going to take them into this conference room to actually do the deliberations while you hear from 3 awesome speakers that Twisha here will introduce.